Metuchen versus Hillside, live from the Brady Burrow. It is the Bulldog Report. Ike Busch and Henry Sia, and boy, are we excited. 1-1 Metuchen High School versus the 1-0 Hillside Comets. Henry, after last game, Metuchen struggled to stay out of the penalty box, or I guess in football you should say, struggled to keep the flags off the field. How did they turn it around today?
Well, honestly, I think they gotta wait. Well, last week they played pretty well. Don't get me wrong. There were some mistakes at some points, but the penalties are really what got them. They had good field position. It moved them back, forced them to punt. So I think if they cut back on the penalties today, they might be able to focus on their raw talent on their team to try and beat them. But I don't know. If I was Lettner, I would just try to commit as little penalties as possible. But wow, does Metuchen have a tough matchup today. Hillside, 4 D1 commits.
Yeah, boy, they have their work cut out for them today. 2 D1 running backs, Kion Simonson and Muwafaq Parkman, respectively going to Army for football and Syracuse to play football. It'll be spectacular. Both running backs over 1,200 rushing yards last year. They also have D tackles and O tackles and offensive tackles and quarterbacks and whatnot. This team definitely is going to bring the heat against Metuchen. Metuchen wins the toss, elects to receive, and they will start off with the football. It'll be kicked away, and we are about to begin. It's week 2 from the Metuchen High School.
And I am excited to see how Metuchen handles such a tough foe. They were 7-3 last year. They only had 3 losses. None of them were Metuchen, but I am just... Lettner has to come up with a great plan, probably utilize his running backs, utilize John Balesta, who had a good game yesterday, threw 2 touchdown passes, and this is just going to be a very, very interesting matchup.
So here we go from the 25-yard line, they'll take the football. It'll be first down and 10, led by John Balesta's brand new offense under Coach Leitner's rule for his first year ever as the Metuchen High School head coach. So I'm so excited to see how John Balesta leads the team now. We got a receiver out wide. That's Aiden O'Leary, the junior. Metuchen against a very strong defense. Hillside 1-0. They won their only game they played this year. 35-20 over Bernards, who is extremely good. So it'll be, a big challenge for Metuchen today. So here's Balesta under center. In the backfield, there's Flood. Snap and a give, and boy, he gets wrapped up. Down he goes, far behind the line, and on the chase was Zymir Hawk. And that's the first time I'll say his name today, Zymir Hawk. He's gotten offers from Marshall and Temple, as well as other FCS schools. This guy is definitely someone you want to keep your eye on as he gets by the O-line and takes down Flood. A loss of 2 on the play. It'll be second down and 12.
Something else interesting to note, typically if you win the coin toss, you elect to kick off and receive in the second half, but I think Metuchen just wants to get momentum going in the first quarter. So
that's a good point. That's definitely a good point, but I don't know how much momentum they're able to get as Flood once again eaten up in the backfield. Leading the chase there was McNally Erminal. And they are in a bad position to start it off, but nothing they can't really crawl out of right now. It's third down and 13. I think Metuchen right now is in a little bit of a tough stance now. You see you're on third down 13, kind of deep in your own zone. You have to find a way. Now, these guys are bigger and stronger than you. You have to find a way to get around them and outsmart them. This is what we saw them do a lot towards the end of last season. They sort of utilized their strengths by kind of outsmarting the defense instead of trying to use their size. So that I'll like to see them try to do that today against a team like Hillside. Third down 13, big play on the way. Fake run to Toth. It'll be a screen pass, and he is eaten up. The ball pops loose. And it looked like looked like it was Hillside on it. The Comets might have the football. I'm not sure if they're going to rule it incomplete. And I think they're going to call him down before he fumbled. And Metuchen will have the chance to punt it away.
And first drive 3 and out. That is not how you want to start the game, especially if you elect to receive after winning the coin toss. So not a very good start for Metuchen, but the game is still very wide awake. There's only 2 minutes off the clock, but just something hard for Metuchen. It's just going to completely stop their momentum, setting the tone of the game. But there's always time to turn it around. Really nothing worked that drive. So, like you said, Metuchen needs to adapt, to learn, and to maybe figure out how they could tackle this tough team.
So Cortez punts that ball out of bounds. It'll be the ball from about the 41-yard line on Metuchen's side. White football for the first time today. Boy, I am so excited to see this combination of running backs between Molifak Parkman and Simmons. It's gonna be awesome. Excuse me, Simonson, Kion Simonson. The two running backs are gonna try to eat this Metuchen defense apart. So here we go, led out by their quarterback, Caleb Salters, the senior. I'll mention all 4 D1 commits from Hillside are seniors, so a big senior class. Salters, shotgun, a toss to the left side. Outside they go, and moving and fighting for more yards. What a run. That's Kion Simonson. Last year, Simonson had himself 1,257 yards and 3 touchdowns. Simonson committed to Army, so he gets a first huge gain for the offense, and Hillside is driving immediately.
Yeah, and not only did Metuchen fail to gain momentum on offense on their first drive, but also, if they keep this up, maybe defense. So I think they really need to get a defensive stop here, maybe allow a field goal at best if they want to keep this game within range. But looks like Hillside's coming in here with a lot of confidence, and you could just see it in the players.
And it's going to be an incomplete pass, it seemed, on the sideline. Nice break up there. And looking ahead for Hillside, they've got Metuchen, obviously, today, and then Roselle, who's 0-2. That should be definitely a fun game for Hillside to play, I should say. And then New Providence, who's 2-1, leading the division right now. So pretty decent schedule for Hillside on the way, but they've got a challenge here against Metuchen, I guess you could say, because Metuchen has been studying all week, trying to figure out how to slow this offense and defense down the best they can. So it'll give to the outside, and Simonson breaks some tackles. How about that? It takes 4 people to take down Simonson. He goes down inside, it seems, of the 15-yard line, just by the 10. And once again, a carry in the red zone. Here they come, the Hillside Comets with the football now just outside of the 10-yard line. Salters leads his offense.
And Simonson was just throwing all those players off like fleas. Like, seriously. Simonson, he doesn't really look like the biggest guy, but he just used his strength, threw everybody off of him, used his shiftiness, and ended up getting a first down for Hillside.
Toss outside. Simonson has a nice pass, fakes a man out, flag on the play, breaks a tackle, dives for the pylon, but is unable to get into the corner there of the end zone. There is a lot of laundry out on the field, so maybe that'll set them back. It might have been a hold I saw, but I could be mistaken.
And this is just...
Yes, it's going to set them back some yards.
And Metuchen really needs to find a way to stop Simonson, because all 3 positive plays by Highland have been first downs, and Simonson just carrying the rock all the way to the 1-yard line. They just need to find some sort of way to stop him. And the problem is, if they can't stop him, they'll have to stop their other star running back. So it's going to be very, very tough. Mahwake Parkman, who is a senior now, and also ran for 1,303 yards, 50 more than Parkman. 50 more than Simonson. So they have a really good tandem here.
Parkman actually didn't play in last week's game. Simonson did, though, and boy, did he play. 167 yards from scrimmage and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that is just unbelievable. Not to mention, he received the ball 2 times for 9 yards. The guy is a fantasy football PPR monster. So there they go. They're setting out wide. There's 3 receivers out wide. Simonson again next to him. Molifak Parkman does not seem like he's playing in today's game either. No injury report on him that we know of. A toss to the outside. Looks like a little sweep. Inside shifting. Nice run there. And Kendrell Gordon Jr., the junior, with a nice play. He's only 5'7", but he's shifty. That looked nice as he got a few yards on it, up towards inside the 15 or so, and it will be, it looks like around the 12-yard line, they'll have a second down play.
And it looks like Metuchen's trying to adjust to the running game, and they could obviously see it with Simonson, so...
Pass and touchdown. That was a great find by Salters. He finds Kendro Gordon Jr. for the second straight play. Gordon gets 2 feet in and is tackled in the front of the end zone, which gives them 6. A quick score, just 4 minutes and 27 seconds into the game. Hillside has made a stop and made a quick score. And Metuchen is playing with their backs against the wall now, as it's already 6-0 Comets.
And Metuchen, they saw how much they were giving it to Simpson. They just needed to keep adjusting and hitting the run, getting the run, and they stopped it. They stopped it on that wide receiver sweep play, and you know what Hillside did? They just decided to go to the passing game. It didn't work the first time. They tried doing it again, and they gave Salters an easy touchdown.
How about that? A little bobbled snap, it seemed, and the kick will end up being no good. They're just going to end up with 6 on that drive. That's not something you really expect to see from a team like Hillside, but a little bit of sloppiness, early season problems. 6-0, though, after 2 full drives. Metuchen has taken 1 and hasn't gotten a first down out of it, and the Comets have not really been able to be stopped either, so it's been all Comets early, but Metuchen can turn it around. It's all on the shoulders, though, of head coach Jordan Leitner, who has the chance to really turn this thing around for the Bulldogs. Definitely the toughest game of Metuchen's season so far, especially, and heading into the rest of the season, really. I mean, I don't see them playing any tougher teams. They've got Arthur L. Johnson, who they fought very nicely on the road next Friday, and then they've got Belvedere on the road, and then their next home game will be on 10-1, which is October 1st. It will be the whiteout game for Metuchen, so this is their final home game until the whiteout, believe it or not. It'll be the last time I'm in the booth with Henry Sia until potentially the craziest game of the year for Metuchen. They've got Roselle. So 6-0. They're going to kick off to Metuchen once again. Last time it was a touchback. This time it's a sort of a line drive kick, and picked up with one hand by O'Leary, and I'm not sure what the call is here. They stopped. It looked like a flag. Maybe he left a little before. It might have been a false start, actually. The ball did, it was a line drive. It would have been a pretty nice kick. It was offsides on the kicking team, so it'll set them back even further now. Metuchen has the chance to maybe take a nice return.
Yeah. And that's something Metuchen really needs. If they could get a nice return here, maybe to the 50-yard line, 40-yard line, that would make it a lot easier for them to at least get in their opponent's territory, because that is something they struggled with on their first drive. Could not get a first down. If I was them, I'd try focusing more on the passing game and maybe trying to throw it deep with John Ballesta and Aiden O'Leary, Connor Larson. They got weapons there that they are not utilizing so far. So I'm very excited to see how Jordan Leitner adjusts to this team.
Booted away, Metuchen ball, and it's going to be Flood who takes it. He makes the snag and moves out past the 20. He's got some solid blocking, holds on to the ball just around the 25-yard line, just shy of it, actually, and it'll be Metuchen football from the 24-yard line, the 29-yard line, and now they're definitely gonna try to do some more things with this offense. I mean, if you're Coach Jordan Leitner in the huddle right now, what are you telling your team after such a unsuccessful first half to the first beginning to this game?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know much coaching. That's why he's the head coach and I'm not. But I would try to figure out a way to get past this Hillside defense, because my God, has it been good. A D lineman that has an offer from Penn State. It's just enough to carry an entire defense, but everybody on this team is good, so they need to find their weak spots. So that's what I'd be telling my team right now.
It's play action, rolling out right. Ballesta is under fire. Looks like Joe Burrow there. He had nowhere to run, so he throws it out of bounds. And this O-line might be the biggest problem so far. I mean, they had a very nice few games, the first 2 games at home, and now they're playing a much bigger, scarier D-line. I mean, just look at number 53. That is the D1 commit, Zymir Hawk. That guy is a monster. He's getting to the quarterback every single play. Keep an eye out for 53 because that guy's moves are incredible. He's in the backfield, seems every single play. He's actually 6'2", 300 pounds. Guy's a monster. So 325 Charles Allen is 325. He's on the other side on the O-line. So now it's a 2nd down and 10 play. Oh, might have jumped on the defensive side. Yes, they did. That'll be Metuchen's first positive yardage of the game. Comes with a flag against the other team. So I guess that's progress. They'll move forward 5 yards at the false start.
Hey, any progress is good progress. Although, like you were saying before with number 53, Zamir Hawk, he is doing amazing. He is wrecking this O-line, and you said it too. They had 2 really good games. They made a lot of holes for Toth and Flood. They've been doing a good job. They just need to figure out a way to stop Hawk and the rest of this D-line if they want to be able to get a play done without him running like Joe Burrow.
Oh, wow, look at that. That is a little toss backwards, and Flood pretty much just ran into a white and maroon wall as there were 3 players that ate him up in the backfield, sets them back about 2 or 3 yards. He had literally nowhere to go. And now it'll be 3rd down, and I'd say 7 or 8 now for Metuchen.
And that's the thing about having one good D lineman. For example, like Myles Garrett on the Browns, he's paired with some average D linemen in real life, but he makes such a big impact they have to double team him, and that lets all the other players get a big opportunity to sack the quarterback or stop the running back. So if you have one good D lineman like Hawk, that could really change the game for the entire team.
A pass outside and hauled in by Aiden O'Leary. He's going to be just near the 1st down marker. Do they have a 1st down? They will not move the chain, so obviously not, but I think they're going to punt this ball away. It was 4th down on 1, and Leitner sends out the special teams to boot this away. I would have liked to see them try to force it in, try to get the 4th down conversion, but instead Cortez is out there to punt it away.
I mean, we never know. Could be a fake. Matt Flood is next to the snapper, so who knows? Maybe he could take it for 2 yards. Maybe it actually looks like they're going to time out, maybe rethink this.
And there is a timeout called, so.
And I think what they did with O'Leary is going to have to be their bread and butter. Quick passes. They're focusing on the run game because Metuchen's been doing that a lot these past 2 games. They have a big D lineman that's wrecking everything. If they could pass it out quickly, and if they could get the ball out before the D-line crumbles in, I think they can make some serious progress. It's going to be a test for John Balesta, but the only D1 commit on the defense is their D-line. So if they could focus on their secondary and focus on getting the ball out quickly, I think that's just going to have to be what they stick with if they want to get any positive yardage this game.
Yeah, well, it's not to say that anyone on their defense is really particularly bad. I mean, the entire team, the lightest person on the entire Hillside team, get this, 140 pounds.
Oh, wow.
That is the lightest player on their team. Their heaviest player is that D1 commit, Allen, 325 pounds. So they are a huge team. They are strong. And you could tell, like, these guys don't necessarily even look 140, but, you know, a lot of it is made up by some of their muscle because they are fast and they are quick. You could see every play. 4th down and 1. Metuchen's going to punt this away. This is definitely something you could argue is a time to go for it, but Metuchen might just try to limit the damage here because if they don't get it, then they're in bad position once again. Cortez is going to punt it away, long snap. And this time a lot better punt towards the sideline. Doesn't get a healthy bounce though, and it goes out of the sideline. It'll be inside the 40 to start on their own side. Hillside's football at around the 37-38 yard line.
And I feel like we can't go a game without talking about Cortez and his kicking ability. A bright spot on the Metuchen team, been able to hit, you saw him hit a 50-yarder, you said. That's like NFL level stuff. It's just very valuable to have a good kicker on your team, especially at the high school level where there aren't many. Apparently he transferred from St. Joe's across town, and he has been valuable for Metuchen, hitting pretty much every extra pointer besides a couple, and most of the time it's just because it got blocked. So yeah, great job by the kicker being able to punt it all the way to the opponent's territory. So just something underrated on the Metuchen team.
So from the 38-yard line, they'll take the ball each side, talking things over, discussing, and now 5:44 to go in the first quarter. This feels like a long first quarter. Still a considerable amount of time in the first quarter, and the Comets are only up 6, so a touchdown for Metuchen could grant them the lead, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But obviously it's Comets football, and they will have the ball at half, so they're put into a very nice position. But last year, believe it or not, although this offense looks spectacular, they only put up 35 points, which is very good. But considering the fact that they are, one of the best offenses you'll see all year, 35 points isn't, exactly eye-opening, and they're playing against Metuchen now. They already have 6, but we'll see how the offense carries itself out now here later on towards the first quarter. We're just about over halfway into the first quarter.
Yeah, let's also talk about their QB, Caleb Salters. He has been playing since he was a sophomore. He actually did very well in his sophomore year. Threw for 1,300 yards and 13 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Then the next year, threw for 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
Simonson finds some gaps, and he'll fall like 4 or 5 yards after the line of scrimmage. And he'll split the work in half. Easier chance now for Hillside towards the first down area. 2nd down and 5 is the next play. Shotgun formation, drop back. He's got a deep man on the right side. A deep throw by Salters. It's incomplete. He was intending to find Darvens Tunis, the junior receiver, but Darnes could not quite separate enough. It was a very nice throw, but perhaps led him towards the sideline a bit too much as it falls incomplete.
Yeah, and that was just, it looks like it went right through his arms. Like the football, like he could have caught it, but it was a very, very tough catch. It was in a good spot, though. It was the only spot where he probably could have caught it, but you just couldn't haul it in. But great throw by Salters.
And now we've got another run. This is something that's been working a lot. Simonson goes down just by the line of scrimmage. It's his shortest run of the day, and he is set down nice and early. Metuchen will set up a 4th down now, 4th and 5.
And that is something you're not expecting, a 3 and out. And that is just phenomenal by the Metuchen defense. And the game's not really out of reach yet. They're only down by 6 points. They could easily get it. Like you said, if they get a touchdown, they're in the lead, believe it or not.
Well, it was a 3, but it wasn't an out because they are going for it. 4th down and 4. This is a risky play by the head coach, Barris Grant. A throw to the side, and it is caught and stiff-arming his way down the sideline. What a play that is. Aljamir Davis, the wide receiver, last week, he had an awesome game also. Davis, 6 receptions, 96 yards, and 2 touchdowns last game, and they convert the 4th down risk. And now, Barris Grant, the head coach, looks like a master because that worked out perfectly, as not only did he break 1 tackle, he broke 2, and Aljamir is able to get them a 1st down.
And you can see him getting in Metuchen's heads. That must have made them really angry. They got not a 3 and out, but they stopped him 3 straight plays, and then that's just a gut punch.
Pass deep, a wide open man, but he overshot him just a bit. Salters threw it actually in a prime location, but the deep shot was just out of his reach, and it will be a 2nd down and 10 play set up now. I don't see why you don't just keep on running to Simonson. That guy is just cooking the defense. Why not just keep doing it if it's working?
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But at the same time, they know Metuchen's going to focus on Simonson. Like, it's not like it's going to stop him very much. He's still probably going to get like 5 yards. But I think they just want to test out Salters and go for those deep plays.
Here's the snap, a toss to the outside. As I said, it's going back to Simonson. He breaks a tackle. There's 1. There's 2 broken tackles. There's 3. There's a flag on the play, though. He'll get the 1st if it holds. I'm not sure who it was on, but it might. Actually, no, I'm not sure who this is on. I don't think there was a hold there. Maybe there was. I didn't see any holds on the offensive side, but we'll see. This would be big if it was against Hillside. If this sets the Comets back further, it'll be 2nd down and 15. Yep, there is a penalty on Hillside. They're going to call it a block in the back, which will bring them back 5 steps.
Now it's 2nd and 15, which is going to be hard for Hillside, but like you said, it's going to be very hard for them to not give it to Simonson. He's been doing so well. But at the same time, do you think Simonson will be able to get 15 yards in 2 plays? I don't know. So let's see what he does. See what the head coach does, more importantly.
correction on the name. His name is actually Kion Simonson, the running back. And now you see Simonson. Actually, that's not Simonson. This is, that was Elijah Stokes, the junior running back, who finds a way into the opponent's area towards the red zone. Metuchen on their heels, as that was a great run. They'll move the chains, and just like that, 15-yard run, it's a first down for the Comets. Now a shotgun handoff back to him, and it's a trip up, but he gets a few more yards. Nice gain again for Stokes.
Yeah, Stokes is really stoking up this Highland team, if you get what I mean. But yeah, in all seriousness, he is really reviving this Highland offense. It looks like they kind of came to a stop after penalty and the block in the back. They didn't really know what to do. They gave it to their backup running back, and that was just 2 straight good plays by him. And now I believe that's a first down, I want to say.
Yeah, I think
Seems
it's
like
just in the area. Actually, no, they're not going to move the chain, so I'm not sure. It's not going to be a first down, but it sets up a heck of a lot easier play next if it's probably just about inches away from a first down marker. Metuchen has to find an answer now on defense because they want to keep this a 1-score game, and if Hillside scores, they could go for 2 and make it again a 14-0 game, which is just 2 touchdowns and the extra point. So they're at an advantage being up with Hillside missing their first extra point.
Yeah. So it looks like Highland might be in field goal range depending on how long their kicker can kick it. So if Metuchen does get a stop here, they might be able to prevent even a field goal from happening. And if they, like you said, if they get a touchdown, that's it. Metuchen's in the lead. Metuchen has... Now it's like all the weights on like Hillside's shoulders, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see if Metuchen can like turn this game around with just 1 score.
Second down and 2, handoff up the middle. Oh wow, he's break 2 and 3 tackles, and now there's a huge blue pack surrounding him. He never ends up going down, but that's a great run again by Stokes, and that'll definitely make it a first down, and it'll be first and goal on the way.
Yeah.
They haven't gotten Simonson any touches in a little while, but Stokes comes out and Simonson is back in. So now you got to think they're putting in, they're giving it to the running back here.
Yeah. Looks like they're also bringing out number 53, Zamir Hawk, who plays O-line and D-line, committed to D1 college, also playing on offense. So that's going to be amazing for their offensive line, amazing for Simonson. Just when you get a player that can play 2 sides very, very efficiently, that's just so valuable.
And a run. He has no problem diving into the end zone. It's touchdown number 2 for Hillside. And now it's 12-0 Comets. Simonson goes up the gut, and he finds the score once again. It's 2 scores now in the first quarter for Hillside, and that is huge once again for the Comets. They're going to set up for, I think they're going to try to just tack on the extra point once again. Didn't work out last time. It wasn't really the kicker's fault. It was more of a bobbled snap, and he just kind of chipped it. Mm-hmm. Oh no, they're actually, you know what? They're going for 2. You'd think that's the right move. There's Simonson right next to Salters. He drops back, finds into the corner, a fade, and they got it. Hauled in by Marcus White. And Metuchen has no answer early on. It's 14-0. That defensive play by Dylan Mead, he had nothing to do there. I mean, the guys are just so big, and Mead couldn't keep up with them. Not his fault. I mean, this receiving core is so deep.
As amazing as that catch was, though, that was just a great throw by Salters. He threw it in the perfect spot that number 8 needed to get. Marcus White, he was able to just haul it in. It was nowhere near Dylan Mead. It was just the perfect throw by Salters. So just great job by both the receiver and the QB.
Well, Salters, you could tell, leads this team, right? Looking at him, you could tell he's just a leader, and that's why he is a captain on the team. Salters has carried the team to their first win, and he's been, as you said, the starting quarterback since his sophomore year, and he's a senior now. So this guy is a prime talent. Although he's not necessarily committed to D1 college yet, this guy is more than great for the team.
Yeah. He actually threw 7 touchdowns to 7 interceptions last year. as a junior while throwing 13 touchdowns to 3 interceptions as a sophomore. So he did decline a bit last year, threw a lot of interceptions, but it looks like already that he's improved ever since that junior year. And already threw, should be counted as a touchdown, but a 2-point conversion to make the game even at 14-0.
14-0, and it's going to be, a botched kickoff return, and now he's in deep trouble. Evan Toth, I think that is, and there's a big dog pile on top of him. He initially fumbled the ball when it was kicked away, and actually, yes, that was Evan Toth, the running back, D-back, and he's a little bit slow to get up, and now he's down. That is not good.
That is not good.
One of the most valuable players on Metuchen, the youngster sophomore, is down on the ground. Let's hope it's a minor injury.
I thought I saw him maybe get tackled in a weird position. It was a very weird play from the start. Bobbled and then just went into a group of guys. Hopefully he is okay. Hopefully it's just cramps, which could be fixed very quickly.
Yeah, he got leveled on that play. I don't think it's cramps, but I think he might have maybe twisted something. There are the coaches are out there, some health officials are out there as well to try to help them out. But for now, we'll step aside. It's 14-0. Comets are up on the Bulldogs. You're watching the Bulldog Report. It's Ike Busch and Henry Sia. All right, we are back. First down and 10. Metuchen's football. Ballesta under center. And yeah, he moved. False start on Matt Flood, it seems. And that'll set him back 5 more yards. Flood jumped a little. Oh, it was a legal motion, I guess. But yeah, they jumped early, the point is. It'll set them back, again, 5 yards. Now they're inside their own red zone. Got to be smart in these areas. This team, they know that. This team is stronger than them. This team is more physical. And, yeah, they're going to try to have to find a way to get out of this kind of corner that they're in inside of the 10-yard line. Ballesta, Flood behind him. They look like they're running the same formation. A toss to Flood. He moves outside, and he is tackled maybe a yard after the line of scrimmage, or just about the same. To say, he's back to the line of scrimmage, I think. So that'll move him around a 2nd and 10 or so for the Bulldogs with a moving clock in the first quarter.
And I said this earlier, I think what they need to start doing is passing the ball, passing it quickly, because whenever they run it, I feel like it's always some sort of short play, whether it's 5 yards at best or they get tackled behind the line. That D-line is just so strong, especially with Hawk leading the way, so I think they need to pass it.
Yeah, they take your advice, a PA play, and Cardillo hauls in a pass, and he is slumped right there, but he got a yard or two. So there's some positive yardage. Again, as you said, the passing game has definitely been noticeably better than the running game. There's no doubt about that. Although the only way, really, that they're able to throw a pass is either a screen pass or a play action. They have to get away from that D-line, who really feels like they're getting to the quarterback very easily, it seems. So Metuchen has to try to find a solution. There looked like there was a timeout called on Metuchen, their second of the quarter. And not even the end of the first quarter, and Metuchen has used 2 timeouts.
Yeah. Interesting strategy. They might as well just wait 57 seconds till the time runs out. But you see, this is why I think D linemen and O linemen are some of the most important positions in the league, because O-linemen and D-linemen are the only two players that can contribute to both types of offense, whether it helps on the running game and the passing game. Like wide receivers, they only catch passes. Running backs, they only take handoffs and short passes. O-linemen, they help defend the D-line, and they get as much time for either the running back or the quarterback as they need. And if you have a good D-lineman, then the game's pretty much over on both sides. Like you said, only PA passes and screen passes are working for him, because those are passes where they pretty much get the ball out really quickly or they get a ton of blocking. So if you have a star cornerback, you might not be able to pass it to one side of the field, but that other side of the field is still open and you could just run it. But if you have a good D-lineman, then your options are so limited. So that's why I just think that D-lineman and O-lineman are so important, especially in high school football.
Absolutely. Shotgun rolling out once again to his left, his weak side. Balesta delivers a nice pass, but it's out of bounds. And it'll be third down, I believe, now for Metuchen. Excuse me, it'll be fourth down. They're going to have to punt this ball away. Cortez jogs out there. There's very little for Metuchen to do. I don't think it was the right decision there to have Balesta roll to his left, because then he has to throw across his body like Josh Allen or something, or Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an easy thing to do. But he delivered a pretty solid pass, just incomplete. So fourth down and 10. Balesta will boot it away. Cortez will boot it away, but they're giving him a lot of space for a punt. As you see, the returner for Hillside, Javante Lee, the senior, he's set up at the 50. So they're expecting just about a 50-yard punt from Daniel Cortez, and he hasn't done quite that today. But he definitely could kick that distance. I told you, this guy can kick very well. So long snap. Cortez boots it away. Actually, a very nice punt. This is the furthest of the day by a lot. He gets a healthy bounce inside of the 40. And in total, it lands towards the 38. Guess what? That was a 62-yard punt, which was just incredible. And 61 to be.
And that's why I said kickers are so valuable. I talked about it earlier today. Daniel Cortez, the star kicker for St. Joe's, he transferred to Metuchen. He was kicking 50-yarders. He was making clutch field goals, extra points. And right there he showed us he could punt too. He was all the way backed up into his own end zone, and he took it all the way to the other side of the field.
Just shy of the 40. Here comes that scary Comets offense. Shotgun. Fakes the handoff, and now they're got a lot of deep guys. Two on the wide open man inside of the 10. He goes the peace sign. He went the Tyreek Hill peace sign. Aljamir Davis, did he get in? It is a touchdown. Hillside on the first play of the drive delivers a bomb to Aljamir Davis. He scores, and now Comets are up 20-0. There is a flag on the play, though. I think it actually is on Hillside. But unbelievable haul-in, and especially great throw there.
Incredible throw. Although, even more credit to the receiver. That was number 17, Aljamir Davis. I swear, he saw where the ball was going. It was a great throw. It was in the right spot, right time. But he needed to adjust to that, and he did just that. And not only that, he was able to shift through not one, not two, but 3 defenders, and was able to go all the way to the end zone and throw up a little Tyreek Hill peace sign at the end. Kind of reminds me of Justin Jefferson, that route, being able to shift, use his speed, use his momentum, and wow, and just like that is taken away. Looks like there's a holding penalty on Hillside,
I'm
and
interested to know, Hillside had a holding call, yet they went back, it looks like 10 yards. That seems very interesting. Holding calls are usually 5 yards, but I don't know. 26 seconds to go. That's definitely a huge gift for Metuchen. Outside, a toss, a throw actually, and he is met. The pass there went to Javante Lee, but an incredible tackle there for Ben Mulishin. Found him in the open field, and the sophomore took him down. And that'll take us to the end of the first quarter, Henry.
And
it's been a blowout so far, but
yeah,
actually not so bad as it was a few seconds ago. The Comets are up 14-0. Bulldogs have to change something. There's no doubt about it. They're on pace to lose 42-0. What do you think they got to do?
I really think they got to just if that play stood from a couple seconds ago, I'd say to stop the deep passes, just stop big plays, but really, in reality, the big plays really haven't been hurting them. That running game, that ground and pound game, no matter what, if you get guaranteed yards with their star running back, Simonson, like if they can just keep giving it to him and it's guaranteed yardage, that is going to tire out Metuchen. And then if they hit him with a nice pass, it's over. So Metuchen really needs to adjust to Simonson. Although the problem is, they really need to rely on their safeties to stop the big passes from going downfield. So it is just going to be really hard for Lettner to just come back from this. If that play stood a couple seconds ago, I would have said this is a huge blowout, but the game is still within reach, only 2 scores, and that could definitely happen in 3 more quarters. It happened in 1 quarter by Hillside, so let's see how Leitner decides to handle this, and it's just going to be very, very tough for Metuchen, but who knows, maybe they'll be able to withstand this. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but that's why I'm not paid the big bucks to be the head coach.
So Metuchen will be on defense to begin. And they've got a tough task now, though. This Hillside team, boy, I mean, it just looks awesome the way that they've been playing. And Metuchen, I mean, they haven't played a team like this in a while. Last year, their toughest competition, I'd say, was South River. It was a better team than it was this year. South River was very good last year. Even Arthur L. Johnson gave them some trouble early on, and then they ended up playing a spectacular game against Arthur L. Johnson, in which they actually lost on a fumble in the end zone, something unheard of, by the way. So I guess that's up to the ref there. But here we go. First down, a toss to the outside. There's Simonson. He takes it away. Almost no trouble yet. He breaks a tackle, or no, he doesn't. He goes down just by the 45-yard line with a huge carry. It'll be second down, and
it might even be even bigger if the penalty is on O'Leary. It might have been an illegal tackle, or for all I know, it could just be holding on Highland. But either way, I told you, they need to find a way to stop Simonson. And if they could stop Simonson, they essentially stop this offense, is what I would be saying, if Salters wasn't able to throw it 50 yards deep to his star receiver. So Metuchen just needs to figure out some sort of way, maybe cover 2, cover 4, find out whatever cover works for this really, really tough running, passing offense.
Yeah,
they have no weaknesses.
This is crazy. Hillside flags. The penalties will, I think, set him back. I'm not quite sure what the call was. I mean, I didn't see any play that might have been, I don't know, illegal there, but it does end up faulting them once again. I mean, the penalties here for Hillside have been, well, not great. I mean, that's what's been holding them back from major success early in this one.
If they could cut down on the penalties, they could probably get probably 28 points, 2 times as many points as they have right now. That one huge play that ended up being a touchdown, that could have been a touchdown if not for holding. And I'm sure they would have found some other way to score if not for the amount of penalties that have been holding them back from getting first downs, giving them tough field position. And right now they have the gargantuan task of getting the first down in 25 yards in 2 plays. But if anybody can do it, it's Hillside. They have been on fire today. But let's see how Metuchen handles this.
Handoff outside. It's a nice sweep play. Finds some open field and goes down. But it'll be third down on the play. Long task now. And that was a nice run there by Gordon Jr. Already has a touchdown early in this, but Cardillo brings him down. Cardillo had a really nice game last week.
Yeah, he's really been that all-around guy, Cody Cardillo. He's been able to block. He's been able to tackle on defense. He's been able to catch on offense. He got 1 touchdown in the first game, blowout against Highland Park. He's really been able to do anything that they ask him to, and he's been able to do it efficiently. So very valuable to have somebody like that on your team. And he's been playing great so far. He was a sophomore last year. Now he's a junior. He earned that starting role, and he has been proving he should keep it. So, great job by Cody Cardillo.
Timeout by Hillside, their first of the half. 11:14 to go in the second quarter. If you're just joining us, 14-0 Comets up on the Bulldogs. Shout out Gianni Bertucci if you're watching. Third down, 22 to go when we come back, but there is a stoppage on the sideline now. I know that Metuchen is down by 14, but I'm actually a little bit impressed by the way that that they're playing right now. I mean, I think that they're starting to slow down the offense, which is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, Metuchen, partly because of the penalty, but the fact that they ran it and they only got 3 yards, that is an accomplishment for Metuchen and how good Hillside has been playing on this running game right now. They've been giving it to Simonson every play, and they decided to give it to their backup, and they pay for it. And now they have a very, very tough 3rd and 22. And if I was Hillside, I'd say they have enough confidence right now, considering how well they're playing today, to think that they could maybe convert a 3rd and 22, which is probably why they took this time out, to maybe discuss what play they're going to do. So I think it's going to be another long bomb from Salters, maybe to one of his receivers, maybe to Aljamir Davis, who got that touchdown earlier that got called back. So whatever they do, it's going to be good. Looks like they got 3 receivers out, so probably going to be a long passing play. Or for all I know, they could just play it safe and run the ball, maybe get some extra yardage to punt it away later. But Metuchen is playing back, and they're getting ready for this deep pass. So
3rd and 22. They're ready. Play action. Oh, they're getting to the quarterback a little bit. Salters has nowhere to go, and he's blitzed. Cody Cardillo and Ben Mulishin helped bring him down. It was Cody who brought him down, and it's going to be a punt.
And wow, look at that. And I think they finally found a way to stop the Highland offense. I mean, that was just phenomenal what they did there. Cody Cardillo and Ben Mulism just chased after the QB, and that is the first time he's ever been pressured all day, I believe. And he looked like he wasn't expecting it, but they just wrapped him up, huck him to the ground. And that was just an amazing play. And that's really going to stop the momentum from Hillside. That's going to teach him a lesson. And if Metuchen can get a touchdown on this drive, that's just going to really just set the tone that Metuchen isn't going to act like they did in the first quarter, and they've turned things around.
That's a awesome punt.
Wow.
And if you're Flood, I don't know if I'd let that bounce. I mean, that ball is going to roll, and he hops on it. Yeah, no, that ball was just absolutely beautifully punted.
Yeah.
So it'll be Metuchen's football from deep in their own side now. From around the 13-yard line, it looks like, or at the 12-yard line. First down, Metuchen when they come back out.
And that play before, Matt Flood looked like I think he thought it was going to bounce forward, so we just decided to let that bounce. But oh my God, that punter! I think that might have been like a 70-something yard punt. It went all the way back to the 8-yard.
I'm not sure I'm not sure he thought it would bounce forward. My observation from what it looked like was I think he he'd have to move over to his right to try to get it, and it was so well punted, and he already fumbled once. I think that he didn't want to risk with a defender coming hot towards him. He didn't want to risk fumbling, which makes sense, but now they have to pay the price for safety. So it's deep in their own zone. It's John Balesta and the Metuchen offense. They're trailing by 2 scores. And it's a fullback handoff, which will get him a yard or 2. Actually got some yards there. But they need more than just a few yards. They have about 9 more to go. Second down and 9 on the way. Metuchen's football from around the 12-yard line or so.
And honestly, you said they have 9 more to go. More like 9 more first downs to go. They are very far back after the punt. And they really need to just, get a 90-yard touchdown, which is touchdown drive, just pretty much unheard of in the NFL and especially high school football. But Metuchen seems to have found a lit spark in their defense. So let's see if they could carry that to their offense too.
Handoff maybe a yard and he's down.
And this is where Balesta needs to maybe go for a long pass. I don't think he's passed all day, or he's made a completion all day. He's passed a couple times, but he's yet to make a completion besides to Aiden O'Leary, so maybe he should try doing that again.
Yeah.
I keep saying it, the quick pass is what's going to work against this tough D-line.
The pass to Aiden O'Leary and the pass to screen pass to Evan Toth worked. There's been a few caught received passes, but a heck of a lot more attempts than received passes. I'm really liking the way this offense is going. The defense has brought them sort of, but their offense definitely has to kind of play to sort of keep this game within reach. Another fullback handoff. This time Sadovsky has it, and he gets a nice carry. Very nice carry on the run. About 4 or 5 from Matt Sadovsky, who found some open gaps, but they're going to have to punt this away once again. Metuchen yet to pass the orange stick without it being through penalties. So it's starting to become a problem, the offense. But if the defense keeps playing like they did the last few drives, it's still a pretty tight game.
Yeah, I mean, Metuchen, at the first half of the first quarter, they have not been playing good at all. Excuse me, but their defense they allowed 14 points, but they've really tightened up and they've learned how to counter Highland Park's offense. So they have like you said, if they keep that up for the rest of the game, Metuchen's bound to score 14 points at some point. So I think that the defense is key to winning here. Just stop Salters, stop Simonson, and stop their entire offense. Because if they could stop the QB and the running back.
Flag.
Ooh, a flag.
Yeah, flag. I'm not sure. I think it was actually on Hillside, because of just based off the reactions of the coaches, they're not liking it. Yeah, I think. Oh no, it's gonna be. It looks like against Metuchen. The penalties may be offset. I'm not really sure exactly what the call was, but again, though, that will not be enough. I mean, it's 4th down. And Metuchen has a long field in front of them.
Yeah. I would just punt it if I was Metuchen. It's not worth it. If they really wanted to go for it on 4th and 5, if the penalty was against Highland Park, I don't think it would be worth it. It would maybe get them an extra 5 yards on that punt, but the chances of them getting a touchdown from all the way back here are very slim to none. So they got to just punt it off with Daniel Cordes and see what happens.
Once again, there's been a decent amount of offensive fouls, flags for Metuchen. Oh, they looked like a jump. Nope, they're not going to call that. And nope, they're going to punt it away. Oh, almost blocked, but a very nice punt. This time, no bounces. And hauled in and tackled. Look at this.
Wow.
He's somehow finding a way to get out of the jam, but not quite, because, boy, that was a great tackle by Matt Sadovsky. He does it all. And it's gonna be a tougher now situation for Hillside. The Comets have about 50 yards to go for another score. 6:48 to go in the second quarter and the first half.
And that was just I know he broke a tackle at first, but Metuchen did a great job not letting him get any positive yardage. Kind of stopped him, maybe a couple yards on that play, but they really that was a great punt by Cordes, but also great by the special teams, not allowing any big plays, and that's what this defense needs to do. No big plays.
Fakes the handoff, moves outside. This is Salters, the quarterback, stiff arms away one guy, but gets tackled about 4 yards after the line of scrimmage. Give him 4 yards, 2nd and 6 set up on the next play.
That fake even fooled me. I could have sworn they handed it off to Simonson, and one guy even tried tackling him, but nope. The quarterback took it himself, and he got a couple yards of his own. And that was just great fake by Salters. Fooled, I'm pretty sure, everyone in the audience right there.
This time they do give it off, and Simonson fights. Wow. His initial contact was at the 46-yard line, and he's found his way to just looks like the 40-yard line. So he shoved 6 yards or so, and it's just incredible what he's done today and all year. And
really has. I'm sure he's already passed about 100 yards.
And he's gonna continue his academic and athletic career at Army. Drop back, moving it is Salters. He's tackled. What a tackle that was! But he still gained a few yards. Salters up the middle for maybe 2 yards or so. Nice tackle, though, by Connor Larson. That's the other thing, by the way. Connor Larson happens to play wide receiver as well. So you see the difference. I mean, there's so many players out in white on the far sideline and just a few really for the Bulldogs. The Comets have a lot more players, which means they could have just offensive players, just defensive players. It's not the case for Metuchen. You have to play both sides of the ball. It starts to get really tiring as the game kind of goes on. And this game's been going on for a while, despite what the timer says. It's been a long one. A toss outside. Now moving in. A little jet sweep.
Wow.
Look at him. That's a great run by Kendrell Gordon Jr., who's been doing it all. You could say he's been just as effective as any player on the entire team. I mean, Gordon Jr. finds inside of the 10-yard line his way for the first down, just around the 10, I think, for the Comets. First down and 10, 5:12 to go. Stopped clock after a run out of bounds. It's Hillside football. They have their chance to score their third time. They've only been stopped by the Metuchen defense once, and it was a punt. Throw to the outside. Gordon Jr. again. One score already for him. This time he won't score again, but he's tackled inside of the 5-yard line. Good tackle by the cornerback, Aiden O'Leary.
And Simonson has been kind of stealing the show for what we've seen. Been scoring touchdown after touchdown. But also, we got to give credit to Kendrell Gordon Jr., Eric Stokes. They've been doing a great job on offense. Elijah Stokes. They've been doing such a great job running the ball. Elijah Stokes got a couple big runs. And then Kendrell Gordon also got a couple big runs. So it's not just Simonson, but it looks like he actually did just get another touchdown. That is his third of the day.
This is just awesome for if you're looking at Simonson, but another score for the incredible Comets, and now they're looking to add an extra point.
And it's not even the end of the second quarter, and he's already racked up 3 touchdowns. Like you said, he is a fantasy football god. I would want him on my team. Already probably has like around 30 fantasy points. Now last week he actually did very, very well. He actually scored 190 rushing yards, 167 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. His longest was a 36-yard run. He averaged about 8 yards per carry, so just a phenomenal player in Simonson that this place has found, and that's probably why he committed to Army. Although right now it has been the Simonson show all day. 3 touchdowns and 18 minutes. Just phenomenal.
So the extra point is knocked through, but there was a flag on the play. It's against Metuchen, so they're going to say, all right, well, we'll bring our offense out, try to get the 2-point conversion. At least I think that's what they're doing. Now that they're just a few yards out of the end zone for 2 more. 20-0, Comets up. Remember, they're not just trying to win, right? Remember, they're trying to win big. This is according to NorthJersey.com, get this, the number 18th ranked team in the entire state of New Jersey. So, you know, they are ranked higher than even the second place team from last year who played in MetLife Stadium and lost in the finals. A floater on the fade, and it's dropped, so it'll be 20-0 a hold after the drive. But, yeah, I mean, the team that lost in the championship last year, which was West Morris, they lost the championship, played in MetLife Stadium for the high school championship, is ranked 24. Number 18 is Hillside. So you're seeing exactly why it's 20-0. But really, what I want to see from Metuchen is to put together a strong offensive attack on this drive, or at least before the end of the half. I want to see some hope from them, to see that, you know, they're ready to take it into the second half after a little bit of a struggle in the early first half. They could try to take it into the second half with momentum and see what they could bring, but they need to put together a strong last drive or so with 4:31 on the clock. Yeah,
there comes a point in a game where, like, at a certain point, if you never score any points, there's really no hope for your team. And I think, like you said, Metuchen needs to put together some strong offensive drive in this drive, but what they really need to do is put up any sort of points, whether that be by field goal or that be by touchdown. Although they have not been able to get more than 1 first down, I believe, so they really need to turn the tide on that. So hopefully Metuchen can put together a somewhat good drive that gets some momentum heading into the locker room. Because if they're losing 20-0 during halftime, that is just going to be a very, very silent locker room and a very, very loud coach. So you do not want that. So hopefully Metuchen turns it around here. Their defense has been playing better in the second quarter. Let's see how their offense does.
And it's booted away, but there's a flag. I feel like there's a flag on every other play, which is also part of the reason this game has been just dragged on and on and on. There's 4.5 minutes to go, and we are an hour and 10 minutes into the game. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, already an hour and 10 minutes in the game, and only about 20 game clock minutes taken off. So, yeah, these penalties have really not only been slowing down the game, but slowing down both these teams in terms of yardage. And really, penalties are the main source of Metuchen's yardage. So Metuchen really needs to turn the penalties around. They need to turn their offense around, and they just need to find some sort of way to get past this defense. And I really think it just comes down to the defensive line. Zamir Hawk was the main cause of trouble on both their running game and their passing game, causing pressure on almost every play. It's probably why he already committed to Kent State.
Something to note, Evan Toth, who was injured earlier, is no longer out on the kick returning team. That's Dylan Mead replacing him, the closest one to you, and they'll let it go for a touchback. Evan Toth, though, is on the sideline standing. He does seem okay, but his helmet is off. Wouldn't be surprised if he's done for the day. Obviously, no sideline reporters to tell us that, but, you know, he looks okay enough to, it hopes, come back later, but if not, there's no reason necessarily to rush him. Someone that's very young and a very good player on this Metuchen team. So Metuchen's ball from around the 20-yard line after the touchback. 4.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, and like you said, the last thing you want to do is rush your young star out on the field, because if they make that injury worse, that would not be good, probably for the rest of the season and maybe his entire career. But helmet is off, might not come back for the rest of the day, but you never know. He could be fine toward the end, and they could bring him out for a couple plays, but I would not rush him out, because you do not want to injure your young star. But let's see how Metuchen decides to handle this drive, this play. So they're facing a very tough defense, a star D lineman on the field on the top of your screen. So Metuchen in a weird formation.
Oh, look at Flood finding the gap. He gets the first down but slides like a quarterback as soon as he gets it. I'm not sure if he quite got it. I think he did. But if he didn't, it will be second in inches on the way. Nope, they'll move the chains. First down, Bulldogs. Clock running, 4:19 to go. How about a first down for the Metuchen Bulldogs? That was impressive.
Wow.
Nice run by Flood for the first down.
And that might be what Flood needs, because, or not just Flood, but the entire team, because that is their first down that they've gotten on the first play of the game. So a lot of firsts in that sentence, but it's going to be a first if they end up scoring any points here, and it looks like they're starting off strong, is what I would say before that play just happened. Looks like I kind of just jinxed it. Wow.
Nice defensive stop by the D-line on Hillside. It'll set him back a yard or two. Yeah, I said before the game started, I said, if the other team that's on the road brings their cheerleaders, you know they're a pretty good team. Oh, now we got a man down, so it did look like Cardillo went down kind of funny. That's Cody Cardillo down on the ground.
His helmet's already off. Looks like I think I saw him point to his arm, but you never know. Looks like they are trying to examine his arm. Hopefully he is okay, but it was a tough hit that he took from Hillside. So hopefully he is okay. Very valuable asset to this team. Able to, like I said, he's the do-it-all guy. Very valuable, but he's able to play fullback, tight end, D-line, linebacker. He's really just been good, exceptional at everything, and just been very, very valuable. And I know I say that a lot, but he really has. He's been just the all-around guy for this team.
He gets up, so that's good.
able to walk on his own, so
Yeah.
that's a pretty good thing to see. Always good to see.
Yeah, it was his arm that I think got hurt, but he's fine. He's obviously walking off fine. If it's an arm injury, he's okay to walk off. But a lot of injuries in a game like this against a team like this. 3:33 to go in the half. Metuchen coming off a first down play and then a not so great play which set them back a few yards. But 2nd down and 10. Football Bulldogs possession now around the 30-yard line of their own territory. 2 receivers out wide. No tight end out there, which is usually Cardillo, but so Sadovsky a little help blocking. And a little scoop to him.
Wow.
There's Sadovsky. Look at him go. He got
That is-
6 yards or so, and big gain for Sadovsky.
And that's just another really very tricky play that Metuchen's doing. I'm seeing it a lot these past couple games. Metuchen has been doing these fake handoffs, jet sweeps. They've been doing everything. And it looks like their work is working. Another positive run. So Metuchen's definitely doing something this drive. But the second quarter is almost over, and they got 2 minutes and 53 seconds to turn this around. So very interesting to see what they do. Also, something good to note that number 14, Tyler Montgomery, the freshman, is actually playing receiver right now.
First down, Metuchen once again. They are just marching now down the field. Something's changed. What do you think it is?
What?
Something has changed on this offense, clearly, and defense, really. But what is changing? I mean, something's looking a lot better. What do you think it is?
What I really think it is the coach telling his offense kind of what you said. They need to put together one strong offensive drive if they want to have any chance at winning this. And I think they're really just trying their hardest right now because they definitely lost a lot of motivation after the 20-0 lead. But if their coach gave them a good pep talk, he's like, oh, yeah, if you want to win, you got to put together one drive. Put your all into this drive.
Handoff, and
that's what they did.
Will be met at the line. Gets nothing, so it'll be 2nd down and 10 or so. That'll take us inside of the last 2 minutes of the half. I think Metuchen has the final drive of the first half.
That'll make it
2nd down and 10, or maybe 11. It's just around that area, 10 and a half or so for Metuchen. But there has been no chance for Metuchen to make some big plays. I mean, the Bulldogs, this defense, they're playing against a good defense, and big plays are not exactly too common in a game like this. Very good safeties and secondary in general. Drop back, Balesta fires away. Oh, interception threat. There is a flag on the play. I think maybe it was against Woodnell Alfanor, senior. I'm not exactly sure, but it maybe looked like he interfered with the play. Yep. Against Hillside once again.
Wow. And Hillside's, their penalties have been their downfall. Metuchen is capitalizing on every bit of it this drive. They've been taking what they've been given, and they have been getting first downs. And they're actually going all the way to the 41-yard line on Highland side. So this is just very monumental for Metuchen. Problem is, they only got 1 minute and 23 seconds left to do this. So I don't know. Do you think they'd be able to score in 1 minute and 23 seconds? That is just such a little time.
Well,
Still
the
have
flags
to
will help them for sure.
Oh,
Rock
for
is right. They
sure.
have no timeouts, so they're gonna have to make some quick plays. Stoppage.
Looks like Metuchen uses their last timeout.
Yeah,
You mentioned
it's not that. I think they're missing a player, so they're gonna switch out and move in. Yeah,
you mentioned this before that they used 2 timeouts in the first quarter. Maybe not a good idea. And in times like this, you want to have every timeout you could get. And right now, they have nothing. So it's just not good for Metuchen using all those timeouts like that, especially when you're a run-focused offense.
So he's met very early, and Sadovsky doesn't get much positive yardage here. I talk about it a lot. Matt Sadovsky, one of the key contributors in the win against Spotswood last year. He was unbelievable for Metuchen. And they ran that play with he's set up like a tight end or a fullback and kind of sneaks behind
Mhm.
the running back, and it worked out last time. Kind of consistently gets 4 or 5 yards out of it.
And that's just something Leitner's been really good at, making these tricky plays, making all these, like, if an inside handoff or an outside handoff doesn't work, do a fake outside handoff and do a jet sweep on the inside. Like, he comes up with all these crazy plays and it works. And that's just something he's good at, like, coming up with these very, very tricky things to confuse the defense. And it's been working, but there's only a couple he could do each drive, so has to use them as he can. And it looks like and when they did it with Sadovsky, it worked out very well. It got him about 8 yards, which is gold considering the great defense from Highland. So let's see what Metuchen decides to do in these next 57 seconds.
They've got.
Excuse me,
Remember,
Hillside.
I'll say this. I got a question for you.
All right.
Do you think that if they get sort of into field goal range, you think they're going to bring out Cortez to try to tack on 3 and get some points before the half?
Oh, for sure. I mean, if they could get maybe in the 30, the 20, they could definitely kick it with Cortez and feel confident enough that he'd make the field goal.
We'll see the second and 10. Play action. He's got some solid blocking for Molesta. He's going to move down the field. Can he get out of bounds? No, he can't, so the clock will continue to flow. Second down play has a lot of success for Metuchen. Moves them. It will be a third down play set up. They're definitely approaching Cortez's den now, but they have no timeouts. So, yeah, they're going to spike that football and try to run out big number 9, Daniel Cortez.
Normally, I'd say that's a good idea to spike the ball, but now it's do or die. They got 4th and 4 coming up.
Yeah,
and
4th and 4, but
yeah.
I'm not sure if they're not going to kick it. They're going to go for an offensive play. I don't know if that was the right decision there.
Yeah.
They
could have gotten like an outside pass to the out of bounds line. They could have like maybe tried to throw it and maybe get a sideline catch, so that way they could, if they don't get a first down, it's an incompletion, and then they could go for it on 4th down.
Well, it's all about like trying to save the amount of clock that's up there. So it's definitely save the most clock. So.
Oh yeah, I agree with that part, but I don't know if it was the right call considering it was 3rd down. Because if they don't get this, they don't get any sort of points. So it's going to be a very important play, possibly the most important play for Metuchen coming up.
Moving Sadovsky backwards. Oh, it's a little flicker, and he loses the football after a hard hit. That could not have gone worse, as Sadovsky's also on the ground. He got popped in the backfield. What a play that was. Strong tackle by Darren Ikanagabon. And Ikanagabon forces the fumble, and Sadovsky is down for Metuchen, and they continue to just keep getting injured out there. It's a little tough to watch for Metuchen, and the 4th down risk does not pay off this time.
And I told you that Leitner is very good at making these trick plays, but that might have been a bit too tricky. It was a flea flicker to Sadovsky, and you do not want to spend that much time giving the ball to your running back because the defensive line is just going to eat that up, and that's exactly what happened. Because if you're facing such an amazing defensive line, you don't want to spend 5 seconds giving it to your quarterback, then tossing it to your running back, and then your running back has to get set up to pass the ball. The defensive line is going to eat that up, and that's what happened. So I honestly think they shouldn't have spiked it, and instead of trying to stop the clock with the spike, they should have just gone for a quick pass, and if that didn't work, then you go for a traditional 4th down play. But
it was just out of Daniel Cortez's reach, it looks like, or either that or maybe they have bigger goals than just 3 points down by 20 in a game like this. But I'm of the belief that a Cortez field goal would have been pretty good there.
Yeah.
Just to run him out there, get him some reps, because he hasn't been able to do anything today. We'll see maybe if that changes in the second half. 28 seconds to go. Hillside might try to get one more score before halftime, or at least get in field goal range. Big plays have been definitely not their biggest worry today. They've been able to get them left and right, it seems. Charles Allen, by the way, number 55. Take a look at him. He is big. This guy is 325 pounds and 6'6".
Wow.
Here we go. First down and 10 from the 43-yard line or so. Shotgun formation, rolling a man into
look
a
at
jet
that.
sweep formation. It's a pass, and now they've got some good motion down the sideline. Nice pass and haul in by Aljamir Davis, and Davis gets them, it looks like past the first down marker, or just shy of it at least, and he's around the 50-yard line. Aljamir Davis to the 50.
Hey, listen, I was not expecting that. I expected with the amount of points they put up, they were just going to kneel the clock out. But they are going big. You said it before. They are going big, and it looks like they might even try to get a field goal or a touchdown. Wow. They keep passing it.
Yeah, this is well run, this offense. He gets out of bounds, stops the clock. 2 plays last 13 seconds in total, and they've gotten good yardage on each of them, which is setting them closer to field goal range. I think that's the ultimate goal, or either that or, you know, they just want to make it an easier kind of final chuck up to end the half. And there we go, 15 seconds left, 20-0. Hillside has 4 receivers out wide. Looks like maybe a 4 vertical set. And a running back next to Salters. Drop back on the shotgun. He's definitely looking deep.
Oh.
He does. Perfect throw. It's hauled in. Touchdown.
And that's
just before the half. A touchdown for Darvin's Tunis. And the junior gets them in for 6 more with 6 seconds to go in the half. It's 1 more score on the board, 26-0. The Comets take a commanding lead heading into the half.
And that is just disrespectful. They had 25 seconds left on the clock, 1 timeout. They were all the way on the 50. And they could have just kneeled the clock out, but they wanted more than that. And I guess they knew what they had in them. And my God, that was number 23, Jaden Anderson, I believe. Wait, who? It was...
No, that was 21. That was Darvin's Tunis. And that's his 3rd reception of the day. And all of them have gone for 10 or more yards. Impressive stuff from Tunis.
That is crazy.
The junior looked really good. So they're going to actually have the offense out there. They're going for 2. They're trying to get back up to 28, it seems like, because they failed the 2-point conversion last time. Flood is moved off the field.
At this
maybe
point,
too many men out there.
At this point, they're just playing for like their stats. They're just playing so they could show put this stuff on their resume. They're just trying to get more points so that way instead of saying, oh, I scored 40 points, you could say, oh, I scored 47 points. I mean, it sounds better, but not by much. So this is really just for their own egos, these next couple touchdowns that they just scored.
Motion.
And this 2-point conversion.
And in motion, he's open in the backfield. He fires a floater up towards the corner. This time it's hauled in. But there was a flag on the play. Once again, they went for the same sort of play. Aljamir Davis on the side, but it won't count because of the flag.
I believe that's pass interference on number 17, if I saw it correctly.
No, it wasn't. It was before. I think it was before the play. So, yeah. Now that sets them back 5 yards. It's against the Comets.
See if they still try to go for that 2-point conversion. It's going to be a lot harder, but I would just go for the extra point at this point. It's not worth risking
they looks
it.
like they're getting ready to just knock it through. That's the right decision. It's the right decision for sure. The kicker, Gio Lavora, he's also a senior. He plays wide receiver. Five more back. This is just flag machine of a team. And this is going to be like a field goal extra point. I'm not even... This is something to look forward to because obviously Hillside is a far superior team to really anyone in the division. The amount of flags that they're kind of committing early on in a season like this kind of raises the question, are they able to compete at a higher level when they're, there's so many flags being thrown from them? Extra point, believe it or not, is high. I don't think he got it. He did not. But he had
really far back.
He had the distance. It did not have the angle. 6 seconds for the Bulldogs. Believe it or not, the Comets have missed 3-point afters. 2 missed extra points and 1 missed 2-point conversion.
Looks like number 6 is almost going to block that. That's AJ Sersky, the freshman, went off the line. His hand was almost there, but no good. Probably disrupted the kick.
That was Dylan Mead for Metuchen now. They got 6 seconds, by the way, so I'm not sure if they're going to try to run a play or just take it to half. I bet you Actually, I don't know because they don't want to give up like a pick six or something like that, and it's definitely possible with this defense. I don't know, but the defense is performing to a high level with 6 seconds to go. I think they might just try to take this all the way on the kick return and
That
take
could
it
be
to the end of the
possible.
half.
I mean,
There
if they
are
weren't...
two back there. It's Flood and Mead. Again, Toth watching from the sideline. It raises a little bit of a concern, but hopefully not too much. Yeah, he is on the sideline with his helmet off, and he hasn't had any reps since the injury. Yeah, so here's the kickoff. It's well kicked. It'll be Mead who takes it. Stumbles, and he gets right back up. Cuts through a person and falls down with 1 second to go, but that takes us to the final seconds of the half, and the clock does run out. End of the first half, Bulldogs trail by 26. 26-0. Hillside Comets outplayed them in the first half. You're watching the Bulldog Report. Ike Busch and Henry Sia will be back in just a few. Welcome back to the Bulldog Report. Ike Busch here with Henry Sia, and it's been one-sided here, 20-6-0. Comets in the lead. What does Metuchen have to do to get back in this one, Henry?
Well, really, get back in this one, I don't know. Honestly, unless a miracle happens, Metuchen, I feel like he's down by a bit too much. That last touchdown that we just saw a couple minutes ago, in the very last seconds of the second quarter, they threw about a 50-yard bomb right to their star receiver. And really every aspect of the Highland offense has been playing phenomenal. Hillside offense has been playing phenomenal. Their passing game, their running game. And Metuchen, I feel like they could turn this around, but their defense is just so strong. They've been, unless they got a huge pep talk and they're ready to rally back in this game, I think it's very unlikely, but there's always a chance. Never say never. So let's see what Metuchen tries to do coming out of the locker room in the second half, and let's see what adjustments they've made to counter Hillside's defense.
Cortez will boot it away as they elected to receive earlier on. Now they're going to have to kick it off. Halftime, and we are underway. Second half underway. It's received by Javante Lee. He runs automatically across the right side, down the right side, and there's Lee. He cuts sideways, and he goes 46 yards. His longest return before that was 27. So Javante Lee with a very nice start to the second half, and now we'll see that Comets offense led by Salters, who had a spectacular half, overthrew 2 receivers in the end zone, but after that was pretty much flawless and led the offense to 26 points in just 2 quarters and 24 minutes. So really impressive from that offense. We'll see what they do now. And the defense also, by the way, no points allowed, and they were just spectacular the entire half. So here's the offense, 26-0. Comets in the lead, led by Salters and their 3 D1 commit offense.
Wow, that is just insane to have 3 D1 commit offensive players in high school, and they have been showing it. 2 of their star running backs and their star O-linemen all committed to different D1 colleges around the United States, and that is just phenomenal to have them all on one team.
Running towards the sideline, out of bounds he goes. Kendrell Gordon Jr. saw 4 receptions in the first half, scored a touchdown, and had some rushing yards as well. Very impressive numbers from Kendrell Gordon, the junior receiver. I expect him to be their big name next year. They're losing a lot of seniors, a lot of wide receiver seniors in particular. Interesting thing to note, they have no freshmen on this entire team. A few sophomores, a few juniors, and a lot of seniors built this team Hillside. Toss outside. Here's the D1 running back cutting inside, but he'll just get a few yards. Nice carry, though, by Kion Simonson, who had himself a big half. He's going to Army, as I mentioned in the first half. Full ride scholarship. 1,257 yards and 3 scores last year for Simonson.
Wow, and that Simonson has just been balling out all game. 3 touchdowns in the first 2 quarters. That is just amazing. 3 touchdowns in a game is amazing. 3 touchdowns in a half is even better. And if he could keep that pace up, he gets 6 touchdowns, and that is just unheard of. So
here we go, in motion. They like to move Kendrell Gordon Jr. in motion, and he's going deep. There's a deep ball over the outstretched arms. The outstretched arms of Tyler Montgomery, the sophomore, a touchdown, and a little touchdown dance for Darvin's Tunis. That's his 2nd touchdown of the day. Spectacular route, spectacular throw, and a spectacular touchdown. It is 32
and I've been
nothing Comets.
I've been mentioning Simonson a lot recently with this amazing running prowess. That is a 2nd touchdown by Darvin's Tunis. He got that one at the end of the 2nd quarter, and he got one at the beginning of the 3rd quarter. In reality, he's probably in like the past 2 minutes, he scored 2 touchdowns, which is just amazing. Completely mossed the freshman. Must be tough, but he got a really nice touchdown. This passing game has just really elevated since the 1st quarter. And before, the 1st quarter was all about the run. The 2nd quarter seems to be all about the pass for Hillside.
Extra point is good. Only their 2nd extra point that is good today. They've missed 2. They're 2 for 4 extra points, but they've only been stopped offensively once by Metuchen and resulted in a punt. So Metuchen's offense will have a chance now, down by 33, opening up the 3rd quarter.
And Hillside just made quick work of that. Just took them about 2 plays, and they already found a way to the end zone. But now Metuchen is receiving, and not much confidence to go into this one, but never say never, as I like to say. So if Metuchen can somehow find a way to turn this around, that'd be amazing. But yeah.
A few important things to note. I'll say a few things. First of all, Evan Toth is not returning a kick yet again since his injury. Still been sidelined. Second of all, debatably Metuchen's best offensive piece, Aiden O'Leary, is sidelined and out of his jersey. So he will not play the second half. Kind of to my shock. He wasn't injured at all at any point in the first half. He did play the first half. I think maybe they're just trying to rest him. But very interesting to see him on the bench watching from the sideline.
Yeah.
They'll boot it away, 33-0, Hillside. Flood and Mead back there. They're going to watch it go into the end zone for a touchback. From the 20, they'll go. John Balesta leads his struggling offense out to the 20. Well, at least for Metuchen, it gets a little easier from here on out. After this game, they will travel to Johnson, which is a very manageable game. They fell just shy of Johnson last year, lost by 2 points on an awesome game in Johnson's home stadium. Then they got Belvedere, Roselle at home, which will be the whiteout game, and then New Providence, J.P. Stevens on the road, and then Dayton on the road as well to close out their season. So they've got plenty of time in this season. They're 1-1. They're having a pretty solid start to their year under the new rule of head coach Jordan Leitner, but it's a struggling day so far, no doubt about it. Handoff, Matt Flood gets maybe a yard or 2, but nothing crazy.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. For a second, I thought I saw Matt Flood's head on the ground, but it was just a football. Wow, can't be making that mistake again.
Yeah.
Although, the running game has been struggling this entire game from pretty much like every play. Although it looked like they were starting to turn it around at the end of the second quarter. They put together a pretty good offensive drive and decided to go for it on 4th and 4, but trick play did not work out. So see what they decide to do here. I know I keep saying that, but I'm just interested to see how Leitner's going to handle like this very tough defense. He's been trying everything, but just got to try something until it works. And long process, but we'll see how he does it.
Balesta under center, but there is flags, and I do think there was maybe a jump by Cody Cardillo. Might be a false start, which would set them 5 yards back if it is a false start. And it will be a 1st and 15 play for the Bulldogs. Definitely a heavy start in terms of flags for the Bulldogs. That they've, and Hillside as well, but there's been flags left and right, it feels, all around this game.
Yeah, I mean, penalties have been a constant for Metuchen. I mean, dating back to last game, too, they received a ton of penalties. And when I say a ton, I mean a ton. I don't know the exact number, but it was a lot more than the other team, and that was kind of their downfall there. They played amazingly other than the penalties. And, like, penalties may only be, like, 5 yards to the naked eye when people are, like, looking at the game from the stands. They're like, oh, it's only 5 yards. But in reality, those extra 5 yards just going to be so much harder to get if it's 1st down and 15 rather than 1st down and 10, if you get what I mean.
Balesta drops back, fires away to a wide open cornerback. Interception, Isaiah Smith, the senior. Once again, seniors making huge impacts, and Balesta, I'm not really sure where he was targeting there, but it went straight to Isaiah Smith, and the defense has to mope back out there to play some more with a running clock.
Looks like there's a bit of miscommunication there, if I saw anything. Like, I don't think him and the receiver were on the same page. The cornerback knew exactly what was happening from the start, and he jumped and pounced on that ball, and he made sure that he'd get his team a crucial turnover, and now he got his team all the way to the red zone at the very beginning of the play. So just a very good play by Isaiah Smith, being able to just, like, jump, pounce, get that ball, and his reflexes were just perfect.
Hillside is ranked number 18 in the state. In 2019, they were ranked number 6 and made to the quarterfinals in the state conference, the state championship. So it's really impressive what they have done as a program, what Coach Barris Grant has done for them. Their first ever meeting against the Metuchen Bulldogs, and it's going their way. Handoff up the gut, nice yardage there. Splits the first down goal in half or so. It'll be second down and 5 or so for the next play. I think that Metuchen, I think that Hillside wants to get out of here just as much as Metuchen does. I mean, this game for them probably isn't too fun to play either. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Shotgun snap. Man out left. And Simonson gets the rest. So this one, I think it's Gordon. Excuse me, that was Stokes that took it on little run outside. He gets a small gain of about 2 or 3. And now they are well in field goal range, but also in range to make a first down play here with just about 3 yards to go.
And it looks like Metuchen's defense is playing pretty well. And if they do stop him on 3rd and 3, maybe get a sack or something, we might see the first field goal of this entire season from both teams for Metuchen, because I have yet to see a field goal by either the person facing Metuchen or
to
the
an
person
open receiver, and he hauls it in just shy, I think, of the first down chains. I don't think they got it. There was an open receiver, though. Jared Taylor.
If I've seen
he's not a tall guy. He's 5'6", but he's able to get up there.
If I've seen anything today, it is that they are willing to risk it all at Hillside. They want those stats. They want the points. They want that stuff on their resume. So I believe they are going to go for it, and it looks like they are.
Handoff, and he looked like he was running from his knees there, and he is down maybe a yard or 2 after the line of scrimmage. Elijah Stokes, the junior, maybe a yard or 2, but it's a stop by the Metuchen defense, something we haven't seen today too much. That's their second stop. And Metuchen will have the ball. Turnover on downs, which is definitely something we haven't seen. I'm surprised they didn't want to just take their 3 there. They're up by so much. They wanted to force on a touchdown, but instead they're going to settle for no points.
Yeah, kind of a disappointment after the pick, but I mean, he got such good field position. He gave him such a good opportunity, but like I said, they're willing to risk it all, and they did. And sometimes risking it all means getting nothing. I mean, for the most part today, when they risked it all, they got touchdowns, conversions, but it doesn't work all the time. And at this point, it doesn't matter as much as it would have at the beginning of the game, but still, that's just their mindset. They're just trying to farm points and farm their stats. Now Metuchen has a second chance to redeem the pick from John Ballesta and Isaiah Smith.
They're set up from the 15-yard line. 4:44 to go in the third quarter that has been just like the rest for the Bulldogs. Under center. Handoff, moving outside. There's Flood. He's got some space to go, but not much. It's all relative as they bring him down a yard after the line of scrimmage. It's a 1-yard gain, 2nd and 9 on the way. And this defense, I mean, I don't think we've talked enough about the contributions of this D1 commit, Zymir Hawk. This guy has been unbelievable. Zymir Hawk, obviously, offers from Marshall and Temple, other FCS schools as well. 55 tackles last year, which was very, very well above the league average. And you could just see the amount of contributions he makes when he's on the field is incredible.
Yeah, like I said earlier today, like D-line, I believe, is the most important position, like, in the entire game. D-line and O-line. They just can cause plays from both running and, like, passing. They could interrupt the pass. They could interrupt the run. They could do everything.
Rolling out, Ballesta. He's under some heat. He breaks one and moves out of bounds. A diving try. Couldn't take him down. Darren Ikanagbon could not take him down. Instead, he'll rush, I think, maybe for the first down, or at least approaching that area.
John Ballesta, I believe that's the first time he actually left the pocket this game. Ended up working out pretty well. He got a solid 8 yards, but now he might have to pass it soon. It's 3rd and 9.
That's a Metuchen First down.
Oh, it's actually a first down. Look at that. That was a great play by Balesta. He saw the pressure. He ran to the right, and he ran away from it, and he was able to use that game-breaking speed to just go away from everybody and get that first down for his team. And it's a crucial first down at that.
First down, Bulldogs. Balesta fakes the handoff. Definitely faked out 2 defenders there, and he's got some speed. Take a look. He also runs track at the spring, and that shows there as he runs 16 yards past the first down marker. First down, Bulldogs. The first time they've made a 10 or more yard play today. Very impressive from Metuchen.
And Balesta starting to get into a groove with this running game, being able to just, instead of get sacked by the pressure, be able to work with the pressure and turn those defensive linemen being able to come at him and try to sack him and turn that into positive yardage and first downs. And it's starting to help his team. And if he could keep this up, and they might be able to score the first points of this entire game.
Here comes the offense. They're starting to move down the field efficiently. Hand off to... Oh, and that's definitely what they don't need. Flood bobbled the ball. It's a big jam. Finally scooped up, and it's taken inside the 10. A touchdown. Brought back to the house. And what a play that was.
And that
I wouldn't say it was a good play, but it was definitely a play that gets reward 6, and there's a flag on the play. I'm not sure if it was definitely after the fact that there was a touchdown. I'm not sure if it was unsportsmanlike conduct. The celebration did take place off of the field, but I'm not sure. I mean, Flood had some open space to run. Just kind of let it go, and the ball popped loose, and it was just a major jam. Everyone was playing soccer with it, and it was taken back to the house. So 39-0 now. The Comets are up big. And it looks like I think they'll just try to get the extra point here, although they've been going for 2 really all day. So I wouldn't be surprised if they force in for 2 now.
And that really could not have gone any worse for the Bulldogs. It's kind of botched from the start. Flood tried to recover the ball, but sometimes it may look stupid out there, but it's a lot harder to recover a fumble when you're going at your top speed than you think. You keep kicking it, and at some point you have to dive on it, but Hillside, like I've been saying all day, are going big, and they went big right there, and instead of just diving on it and getting it at the 30, they just kept running and running until they could finally gain some momentum. He actually shed a tackle. He shed Connor Larson, the big D-line and the big receivers tackle, and he was able to take it all the way to the house. And this might be going into the 4s. It's going to be 40-0 if they're able to nail this extra point.
Well, there was an unsportsmanlike conduct call after the fact of the touchdown. Actually, it looks like their celebration was someone off the field taking a picture of them. It's pretty funny, but we'll see what they do. I think they're probably just gonna try to tack on 1. Is that the offense? Yes, it is. So they're going for 2. How about that? But now in the slot, they've got no receivers, but they've got Elijah Stokes. And they just...
Kneeled it?
Kneel it, yeah, they kneel it. Interesting.
Very interesting. I don't know what they were trying to do by kneeling it on the 2-point conversion. I mean, you might as well just take an extra point by then. That's really confusing.
They don't want to add on points, it seems. But
wow.
Wow, okay. 1:32 to go. They're going to kick off now. The kicker is fully healthy and fully okay, so... They decide that they just don't want the points.
I honestly can't tell if that's disrespectful or respectful, but I don't know.
Still have 13:32 to go in this game. I wonder what else could happen in a game like this. It's one-sided, but now really what I'm looking for, if I'm Coach Leitner, is some sort of diamond in the rough, someone that might stand out at this moment, someone that, going into next week, you feel more confident about after the fact. Now they play pretty well to end the rest of this game. I would really like to see a youngster, someone that doesn't play too much, just sort of break out and then is used later on in the season. That's something that I think if I'm Coach Leitner, I'm trying to experiment with a little bit more. Put in some backup quarterbacks, some backup running backs, try new schemes out, new plays, see whatever works, try to test things out because you've got a heck of a schedule coming up and some bigger games down the road.
Yeah,
Kick is a little bit short. It takes some hops, and this time it's hauled in easily by Mead. He holds onto the ball. Nice ball security there as a man tried to strip it from him. That would be yet another a fumble for Metuchen. They fumbled twice today, and here comes that Bulldog offense.
Seen a lot of new faces coming on the field. Looks like they might do exactly what you said they'd do and try out some of their youngsters. I don't see John Balesta anywhere in the huddle.
No, that's that looks like the starting lineup. Because they got Metuchen out there, who's not always a starter on the O-line, but this is a...
Looks like...
They got the whole starting lineup out there.
Oh,
so,
you're right.
Yeah,
I didn't see Balesta.
Yeah, no, Balesta is out there, which is interesting. They do have two backup quarterbacks, one being Ben Richards, the senior, and one being... it's Ben Richards right now as his main starting quarterback, backup quarterback, excuse me. 1st and 10, they'll start at the 38-yard line, and a running clock, which is going to take us to the end of the third quarter after maybe a play. Ben Richards practicing snaps on the sideline. Handoff, or a fake handoff, faked me out. Balesta shakes a tackle, moves on, gets a yard or two after the shaking a tackle, and that'll take us 3 out of 4 quarters.
You could see Balesta playing with the passion on that play. Kind of shook a player off, using all his energy, all his speed. He knew it was going to be the end of the quarter. He knew he'd get a break, so he might as well try his best, and it worked. That was very impressive. You could just see the energy inside him when he jukes that player out. So, yeah.
End of the third quarter. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Metuchen trails 39-0. Final 12 minutes for both sides, so it's just as fun for each team, it seems. There's a clock running even though the quarter had ended. Rolling out right.
Wow.
There goes Balesta. He's on the move. He's found some space and gets tackled underneath, and he'll get maybe 5 yards on the play.
And I said this at the end of the third quarter just a minute ago. He's playing with a passion. Like, seriously, you could see him running at his top speed. You could see that he wants to smoke. I mean, there's not much to play for here, but except his pride, and he's like trying his all, and it's working out pretty well.
Timeout. Metuchen. Their first of the quarter.
Now it's 2nd and 5, and Metuchen, not a ton of options. They might go with what you said, Ike, and put in some of their youngsters, their backups, their freshmen, sophomores, try and see how many of them are good when they're put on the spotlight. in a real game. Looks like Ben Richards is actually heading out to the field right now in the huddle, taking John Balesta out. So looks like they are going to do it, and they are going to put in their backups. Ben Richards, a senior, and also plays defensive end on defense. So they're going to test him out, along with some of their other backups.
Pat Moore's in as well to play some offensive line. Not much else to say.
I mean, yeah. Although
well, I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Comets, in the future.
Yeah.
I want to see what they end up doing, because this is a heck of a game. They impressed me. I'm sure they impressed more than just me. The Hillside Comets definitely have a future going deep, I think, into the process of the bracket come late season. Of course, it's very early in the season. Flood gets a nice gain and a first down. Will move the sticks once again. And now they're on the other side of the field. That's only something I've been able to say for Metuchen a few times. But yeah, they are cruising right now a little bit. But it's under the new quarterback, Ben Richards.
And I mean, I would test out his arm if I was them. Like, if I was the coach, I would try and test out his arm. Also, something to note that AJ Sersky, the freshman, is out there along with a bunch of other freshmen that I can't see right now. But
how about Flood taking it up the gut, 9 yards the carry? He's going to move it even closer to the deep. Well, okay, by the way, I will say this. This is not the full defense that you'll see for the Comets either. Hillside has pretty much taken out all their big names, including the biggest name for Hillside, which is Zamir Hawk. He's out, so really the core of that defense is sitting on the bench right now, but it's interesting to see what Metuchen can do against them.
Another freshman, Cameron Hayes Durena, is also in at wide receiver, along with fellow freshman AJ Sersky.
And the ball comes loose. Chrissy picks it up, but this game is at this point, I think he was down, by the way. This game at this point is just it's out of reach for Metuchen, but they're just trying to see what they can perform with what some of the youngsters can do, as I said earlier. So really fully a backup team at this point out there.
I mean, you got to shine a positive light on everything. I mean, for all these people that are out on the field right now, this means a lot to them. I mean, they're getting an opportunity to show off their skills against a backup defense. So they could probably get noticed. Maybe they could try to get a better spot on the starting lineup. So
there's Flood, a toss. He sneaks inside, breaks a tackle, shifts on one, and gets thrown down to the ground. Awesome tackle there by the tight end on offense, Kevon Hayes. He doesn't play defense, but they're putting him out there now, and he made a nice tackle.
Oh, looks like one of their players is down.
Yes, they definitely have a man down. Hillside on the ground.
Looks like Matt Flood was also trying to get face mask called. He was tugging on his face mask, telling the referee to call it, but nothing happened. Still on the ground.
We'll take a short break.
We are back in the fourth quarter with 8 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. Mostly backup team out for Metuchen and Hillside.
Richards hands off. Flood takes it outside. He's one of the few starters still out there for both teams, and he's pulled down by the defensive player of Xavier Siddons, also plays tight end. Listed as a tight end, at least on the depth chart. Simonson hasn't had to play for a while now. He's getting a little bit of a rest, and they could focus on next week, which is a big game for them against next week. Well, next week Metuchen has Johnson, but Hillside has Roselle.
Looks like they're going to take another time out for Metuchen. Maybe get some of their other backups in.
So third down, they're going to talk things over. Actually, I think at this point that if they get enough into range, at least enough, I think Daniel Cortez gets some opportunities to try to kick it through the posts. But a field goal, he has to be at least relatively, in his area.
Matt Flood now on the sideline. So mostly pretty much everybody is a backup out there now. Some people who just came in, Daniel Ayala just subbed out for Matthew Flood. So pretty much a team of sophomores and freshmen right now, with some exceptions. A lot of freshmen out here. It's probably their first opportunity to actually play in a real game for a bunch of them. Justice Lettner subbed out for AJ Sersky too.
He's going to get a yard or two, but gets pushed back by the pack, and that'll be fourth down. Daniel Cortez getting talked to by Coach Leitner. Are they going to send him out? This would be a remarkable kick if he nails this.
Wow, look at Cortez. He's walking out. This is going to be such a long field goal.
Yep, they say special teams, and here we go.
Oh, this is what I've been waiting to see. I have been waiting to see this long field goal by Cortez. This is the first kick he's attempted this season, or first field goal, I should say. Kicked a lot of extra points. First field goal this entire season. It is going to be a 42-yard kick.
I think it's 49 because it's usually 17 yards behind where the ball currently is. It would be a 49-yard kick, which, by the way, is challenging for NFL kickers. So,
yeah.
I mean, this is
an NFL-level kick. I've seen players miss 49-yard kick. There he is.
But most college kickers aim to, if you could hit this as a college kicker, you're an above-average kicker. So we'll see if, at least under pressure. So not much pressure here, but Cortez looking for the 49-yard kick. It's up, and it's shy. But he got that pretty well into the air.
Close. Wow.
And it was on target. If he had maybe 5 more yards on that is drilled. So Hillside's football. At least we got to see Cortez take a rep out there. 6:05 to go in the final parts of this game. Fourth quarter action with 6 minutes to go and a running clock. Hillside's offense hasn't scored really much this quarter at all because they're kind of slowing things down. I wonder if they're going to sub out the quarterback position too. We've seen switch outs in running backs, offensive linemen, receivers, but we haven't seen the quarterback come out. It's mostly been Salters the entire game. And it does look like he's out. Yeah, Salters I think is done, at least for the day. Yeah, so right now they're making a full swap on the offense versus a fully swapped out Metuchen defense. 3 receivers out wide, 2 on the right, a twins package out on the right, a single receiver out left. Shotgun, handoff, ball coming through. Hard run all the way down the sideline. Check it out.
Go.
Down the sideline. No one's gonna catch him, and yet another score. Touchdown, Comets. Hillside comes in. That's the first run that we've seen by Chibugo Chigozie Nwusu. His first touch of the day, and he gets a score.
Yes, first
How about that?
First touch of the day, first touchdown of the day. Oh, for him, at least. Wow, that was just a phenomenal run. Was able to shed like 3 tackles. And here's the thing. When it's like the end of the game and they put in all the backups, this is just a huge opportunity for every single person on that field. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets more carries next game just because of that run alone. So just a very big thing to be like, that should be something you should be proud of right there. Being able to get that big run, being able to get your name noticed. And besides that, just an amazing run. He had so much speed, so much acceleration going down that sideline. Was able to outrun like 2 defenders and just give another 7 points to the Comets. So just great. Or maybe 8 if they go for the 2 points.
No, 2-point conversion. They just took the knee.
Oh, all right.
Although they were pushed over while doing it. But, yeah, no, that was also, not only was that the first rep for the running back, it was also the first rep for the backup quarterback, Najee Jordan. First reps of the season, actually, and he came in and handed it off for a long run. So now it's 45-0. Comets definitely adding some stuff to their resume right now. And coming into next week, which is, it's a little bit of a easier game at home against Roselle. They've got major momentum coming out of Metuchen. Just waiting for these final 4.5 minutes to go. Again, it's Meade and Flood ready to return it. And
I wouldn't be surprised if they try to either just kneel the clock out or just run the ball the entire time, because only 4.5 minutes left. And actually, surprisingly, a lot has happened in these last 4.5 minutes. 2 touchdowns from, actually, I think it was 2 touchdowns this quarter, both by Hillside. And considering that it was mostly backups that were on the field, that's pretty impressive for a quarter, for Hillside especially. So I think that Metuchen kind of wants to just end it, and they might just run and kneel out the ball, which personally is what I would do. Either that or they test out their new players who are on the field right now, their backups. But it looks like they're still sticking with their special teams that are their starting special teams. They got Matthew Flood on the top of your screen. Meanwhile, they got Dylan Meade on the bottom. And about to kick it off is number 9, Gio Lavora.
And he boots it away over a loud sound of a beautiful ensemble of music. Taking out, it's Flood. He's got some space, actually, to make some moves. Past the 30, here he goes, and he is met hard. 2 guys fall on top of him, and Flood falls out of bounds. There's a flag. It might have been on Kavan Hayes. He's not happy about it. I think it was probably him.
Looks like they're bringing out their backup team again. Ben Richards leading the way, along with their 2 freshman receivers and their sophomore back. And the penalty is going to push him back a couple yards, too.
No, it was on.
On
Hillside,
I meant,
so.
yeah, I meant push him forward a couple yards, actually. So, could bring him to the 32-yard line. Oh, it's actually an offsetting penalty.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so from the 32-yard line, Bulldogs football.
Number 11, Colin McPartland.
3:19 to go.
Out wide, number 4, Justice Leitner.
And we've got Kyle McPartland into the game. His first reps of the year. McPartland is a 9th grader. Handoff. Outside, a quick move and a nice run. Solid yardage there by Alex Antaporta. And the junior picks up solid yardage.
On a handoff for
helps move closer towards the sticks now.
This is their third quarterback of the day. And I'm really happy that all these new players are getting all these new reps because, like I said before, it's very important for them to get their name noticed. And also for some of these freshmen, it's their first ever rep ever in like a high school football game. So both those reasons very important.
Snap, handoff, and back to Antiporta, who finds some space. There he goes, down the sideline. Largest play by Metuchen of the day. And he's hyped up. What nice run and a first down for Metuchen. Antiporta getting reps for the first time of the day and mostly of the season. And just like his brother, he's able to find the gaps. Like last year, Andrew Antiporta, his brother, was, Metuchen's main power back. AJ Perillo kind of took on that role as the starting running back after changing from a wide receiver to running back and kind of doing it all. But Antiporta was really their power back and their kind of number one running back for most of the year. Although Perillo had the most rushing yards. There's Antiporta again. He shoves forward and gets a well-fought 3 yards. A minute and a half left. Now, Henry, this game is just about over. If you're Metuchen, what are you doing with this loss? How do you take it into the next few weeks?
Well, for starters, during the minute and a half we have left, I'm going to try to get as many reps for our backups as we can. But besides that, I'd try to take everything we learned in this loss and apply it to the next game. And I know that sounds a bit generic, but Metuchen learned they learned what a punishing team can do. Because these past two teams, they were tough, don't get me wrong, but this one, they're not 18th ranked in the world. So I think Metuchen kind of needed this so they could experience how to handle a really, really, really challenging team. And when I say challenging, I mean playing the quarterfinals, state quarterfinals in MetLife Stadium, the Giants and Jets Stadium in all of New Jersey. So I think I just won't let it affect me if I'm playing. If I'm a football player on that field, I'm not going to let it affect me in the next game. I'm not going to keep thinking about that and the loss. I'm just going to think about how I can improve from it. So, yeah, I would just, if I was coach, I'd try to tell my team to think positive about this loss. And the clock winds down as Metuchen takes a loss 45-0. The Hillside Comets win and are 2-0 so far this season.
What a win that was for the Comets, and awesome win for the Comets. And Metuchen, obviously not too great today, but there was definitely some spots where you were like, okay, that was pretty nice by Metuchen, and they did find ways to sort of make solutions to expose that defense on Hillside. So I really liked what I saw for the majority of this game by Hillside, but also Metuchen had some hints of success as well, although falling short 45 points. And remember, you can't always play a great game against a team like Hillside. They're ranked number 18, so we'll see how they do going into the final games of their season. Next game, as I said, home against Roselle. For Metuchen, though, they're at Johnson on Friday of next week. That's it. Ike Busch and Henry Sia. 45-0. Hillside takes all the money here today. It's Saturday, September 10th. And Metuchen will play Week 3 football next week on Friday. That's it. Ike Busch and Henry Sia. You're watching the Bulldog Report.